In today's episode of Project Sacrifice, we make our very first gypsum ingot and we make the master infusion stone. With that being said, let's get into today's episode. In the last episode, we made this beautiful looking alchemy table and the MK5 energy collector to go ahead and get the energy into this guy so we can go ahead and make the blaze rods. Now, my plan for today's episode is hopefully we can get closer to the tier 4 blood altar if we can. That would be really awesome if we could. However, we're gonna need these weak blood shards, which only come from making the alchemical reaction chamber, and I don't see a recipe for this, so there's got to be something that I'm missing here because I don't see that recipe. And it looks like this requires this guy, which requires deep slate. Oh, okay, so yeah, we have to make this guy first. This guy is gonna require the gelot blocks, and then the gelot blocks are gonna require us, I believe, to make the gelot dust. No, it's something to do with this, I think. Ah, there it is. The hellfire forge is how we make the ingots, and we need amethyst, medium covalence dust, low covalence dust, and blaze powder for this, and we need 18 each. That should be relatively simple, I think. Alrighty, so I've gotten everything that we need here: the medium, low, amethyst, and blaze powder that we need for this. This will take 0 will, by the way, and I just remembered what we were doing last episode. We were trying to make the blaze egg, right, which required this genetic compound but also required these volatile fluids. The reason why we want this, we need blazing blood or blazing copper, which we can get blazing blood, I believe, from melting down blaze heads with the molten whatever. So we can melt it down with lava, and that's how we get the blazing blood. And the way that we get blaze is by severing their head, and I think we can make the mob masher beheading upgrades. I believe those are a thing that we have access to. Yeah, we just need iron and gold helmets, and that's actually relatively cheap. And honestly, well, I was gonna say we can use the damaged helmets that we already have, but it doesn't look like they're gonna work, unfortunately, so we are gonna have to make the actual helmets or whatever. Now that our gelot ingots are done, we can take those and make them into blocks. Now we are gonna need 2 of these. I believe we're gonna need 2 imbued slates as well. Yes, we're gonna need 2 imbued slates and then 3 deep slate. Okay, do I have the imbued slates already? I do. Perfect. We're gonna also need a furnace, right? And furnaces are not the easiest thing to make because we gotta take a smeltery controller. Okay, that's fair. So 3 of these. I'm gonna need some of these, and then 4 copper ingots, I guess. That's what we gotta do. Alrighty, I think I'm ready to go ahead and make the rest of these deployers. Let me go ahead and make a few of these heat engines real quick and then put it together like so. Actually, you know what? I totally forgot that I'm gonna need andesite casings for this. We can go ahead and make those relatively simply. Just grab 3 of those and then some wood. Luckily, we have plenty enough wood that's been automated already. Boom, boom, and boom. Right, we gotta strip it first. I totally forgot. You always gotta strip it. There we go. Grab that and strip it. And boom, break that down. Now we have the 3 of those, and we can make the 3 deployers that we need. And you know what? While we're here, let's also make the stamper thing. There it is. Perfect. I'm gonna need an iron block and another one of those andesite alloy things. And now that we have this, we should, in theory, be able to go ahead and make the special plate that we need for blood magic, which is good and dandy. So let's go ahead and grab that and put this together. Oh, you know what? We're also gonna need more. I'm gonna need at least 4 more of these because of the fact that I need depots, and we're definitely gonna need some of those. So let's go ahead and do this and grab more of these. I'm gonna get another axe because it's kind of broken. Let's get a new one. Let's go ahead and go set this up. So to set this up, what we're gonna go ahead and do is place down all of our depots like so, and then go ahead and place down all of our deployers like so, and then go ahead and place down our mechanical press like so. Beautiful. Now that we've got that, what we're gonna go ahead and do is, I don't remember exactly what we got to do, so we're gonna go here. Right, we're trying to craft this. I think we're ready to craft that. Let's go ahead and try. You know, we could be pretty close to that. So we need this, and if I had to guess, we're pretty much right there. We just gotta get the orb in there. Is it the magicians? Yeah, perfect. Now that we've got this now unlocks the arc furnace. Wow, Noah would be proud. How does this work? Use on displacement room to turn it into an arc furnace. Ah, I see. Okay, we gotta get a displacement rune, which is another imbued slate. There it is. You know what? When I was setting this up in between episodes, I was like, you know what? Let me make, a bunch of water buckets. And luckily I did. So I need a blank slate, which we probably don't even have. No, we don't have that. And wait, what is blank slates again? The blank slate is, dude, it's been a while since I recorded this. It is going to be rocky dirt times 2, because I gotta make a blank slate and a imbued slate. Okay, let's go ahead and make the displacement rune. We should be good to go there. So let's grab our orb out again, and the magician. Perfect. Now that we've got that, let's go ahead and now make the displacement rune, which should be relatively simple to make. There we go, displacement rune. And I guess we just gotta place it down and right click it. How does that work? There we go. Now we've got the arc alchemical furnace. Unfortunately though, we're gonna need this guy here. I actually do need to also pick it up apparently for it to quest complete. So there we go. That should now be done. Quest complete. Beautiful. And now it's time to make this thing, which doesn't look too fun. So I gotta throw shears through there with the prismarine agglomerate, which I believe we have. The prismarine agglomerate, I believe we have. Yeah, we have one of them. I need more of them. I need at least like 4. I'm gonna try and make 4 of every one of these resources here. So, oh my god, I need 4 imbued slates. Gobber globberet. Oh, this needs diamonds. I gotta make more diamonds. I literally only have 1 diamond. Okay, so I'm gonna take all this and put it in here, and that should make the things that we need for this. We're gonna need 2 imbued slates, which luckily I already have one over here because I made an extra one on accident. So I'm gonna take this blank slate and throw it into this chest and just hope that we have enough of this blood. So once that's done doing that, this should now be done doing this. So we have the 2 of those. We have the 2 agglomerate. So let's go put this in here. The one thing that I am a bit concerned about is getting the deep slate again. We're gonna need the deep slate cobblestone, which we can get, I believe, from deploying coal essence on top of stone brick. Okay, and that's assuming that we already have the deep slate. And so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go this way. So it's gonna go the prismarine agglomerate, and then it's gonna go this guy. And I do want to be safe here. Did I happen to make extra coal essence or no? I didn't. But do I have deep slate? I do have deep slate, and I think we need 2 of them. So that should be more than enough. And then our imbued slate, which is currently being made, or is it not? I think it's already been made because I think I put the other one in here already. And yeah, so we did that. So let's go ahead and take this out by shift right clicking, and then let's put them both in there now, like so. And then we're gonna need the gobber to go in there as well, the gobber, and then the deep slate times 2. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're now gonna get some shears, and we're gonna slap it a couple of times with the shears, right? So shears should be relatively simple to make, easy peasy lemon squeezy. All I gotta do is take it and do this, and it's gonna poke it, and then we're gonna poke it again, and then we're gonna poke it again, we're gonna poke it again, we're gonna stamp it, and then we're gonna poke it, and then we're gonna poke it, we're gonna poke it, we're gonna poke it, and we're gonna stamp it. Beautiful. Now we have the sanguine reverter, and that's gonna go inside of here like so. Now that's done. Now we're gonna take the saturated tau fruit, and it has 20% chance, only 20% chance to be successful. That is crazy. Now, do I have any better orbs I can be using? The apprentice, and is there another one in here somewhere? No. So I think the apprentice is the highest tier, right? Is a tier 3. So I think that is indeed our highest orb that we have. So if I take that and I guess, oh no, we got one already. So now that we've got the weak blood shard, we should, in theory, be able to make the large blood tiles to go ahead and upgrade our blood altar. Okay, so we're probably gonna want to do 28 of these blank runes, which means I'm gonna need 28 more of these blank rune areners. But that shouldn't be really that bad, honestly. Let's grab some rocky dirt, and I guess what we can do is just this, right? All we gotta do is 28 of these, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make sure that the blank runes can be subtracted from here, like so. And then I guess just toss these in there and let that cook. Then we're we're gonna need the large blood tiles. So let's grab those. So the large blood tiles are these guys here, and it looks relatively simple to make. Take that, and then we combine these together to make the blood bricks. Is that correct? I feel like that's not correct. Bloodstone brick, yes, and that was indeed correct. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure I didn't make the wrong item or something, because that would be really, really annoying, because that was super expensive to make. So let's grab the blank rune like so, and I guess throw in our apprentice orb, which we have in our inventory like so, and we need 28 of these. Now I did make a bunch of andesite alloy in between episodes in preparation for today's episode, so there is your 28 of those. Which, why didn't the quest trigger? Oh, weird. Okay, I had to hold the blood things in my inventory. So the large blood stone brick like so, and then there you go. There is our tier 4 altar completed. So in order to upgrade our altar, let's grab the sanguine book. So the sanguine book should tell us under the blood altar. So the blood altar should tell us how to build the tier 4. So we're gonna hit visualize with this, and then we're gonna slap it right where the blood altar is, which is right there, I believe. So all we gotta do is break these blocks and put the blank runes in. Now that we've got the blank runes in, all we gotta do is pillar up a couple of blocks like so, and put these large bloodstone bricks on top of these like pillar spiral things, and we should in theory have a tier 4 blood altar, which means we can actually finally get into the next chapter, which is going to really hopefully speed up the progress of this mod pack a bit. So there we go, that's now completed. And if we want to check to make sure that it is a tier 4, what we can do is grab our sigil. I believe that's in here. We can grab our division sigil and click on the altar, and it does say it is indeed a tier 4. Okay, so we gotta make the most hard item in the game right now, and that is called gypsum ingots. Now gypsum ingots are a very expensive item that we gotta make in the alchemy table with bioluminescence, prismarine, the diamond dust, slime steel, and dynamic slates. Now we also need imperium essence, which needs tertium essence, which needs prudentium, which we have a ton of inferium, I assume, from our mob farm. We're just gonna send it. So inferium, we're gonna tell it to wait, how many of these do I want? Oh dude, we're gonna need a lot of gypsum ingots. Ooh, we're gonna need like, dude, so many. So to make the scythe that we're trying to make for the next chapter, we're gonna need at least one of these. So 1 or like 2, 1, 8, and 8. So 16, 17, 19 ingots potentially, which I don't think that's correct, but I could be wrong. I don't know how to do this. So I assume we're going to need like a pattern table or something. How do I get the tool rod stuff from Tinkers? I assume this is like a full like custom like thing or whatever. I'm not really sure how this works in this pack, so we're just gonna grab a bunch of this and then see what the patterns are used for. So the Tinker's chest, the Tinker's table, which the Tinker's table requires, what does it require? It just doesn't like the fact that, yeah, this system's not that great, honestly. Let's grab that. The Tinker's stations table, I assume the pattern table is something like this, but like maybe with like oak logs or something. Yeah, that's a crafting station, not exactly what I'm looking for. Let's put this down and see what we're gonna need. I think we're gonna need a pattern thing, maybe not. I thought I would have needed a pattern thing, but I'm not seeing that. Okay, we are now getting somewhere. I found the part builder. Yay. Okay, dude, I miss old Tinkers. Old Tinkers was goated. Okay, so what we gotta do is take this, do this, and we gotta make all the old parts, right? So let's grab a pattern like so. We're gonna need a tool binding, so one of those. We're gonna need a broad sword blade. We're gonna need a small blade, and I believe a tool binding as well. So let's get a bunch of gold. I believe it's 2 ingots per thing, so like we're looking at like 8 gold ingots. Also, I kind of made a bunch bunch of like mistakes in the smeltery, so I'm just gonna kind of like yeet it out of here and give it a shot again here. There we go. Gold is now melting, and then we should, in theory, be able to put these down here and then pour the gold over it, hopefully. If not, then we might need to do sand casts, but it does look like this will indeed work. And then we can actually see the cost, I believe, of each one of these, so we can actually figure out how much of the gypsum we are gonna need for this. I also just realized that's not 144 millibuckets. That is a whopping 90 millibuckets. Why do they keep changing the standard? I don't understand. It was 144, now it's 90. Make up your mind. I couldn't tell you how much we're gonna need for everything. I guess we can try to make one. So let's just try to make one. I'm just gonna send it. So after doing some extensive research, I found out how many of those I need, and oh boy, we're in trouble. We need 14, and that's a lot because it requires dynamic slates, which require 15,000 LP each. Oh boy. Yeah, there is a big problem. We are not getting enough blood for this. No way are we getting enough blood for this. That's gonna be a problem that we're gonna have to figure out because we need that to make the gypsum. That's easy. That's also easy. Diamond dust might be a little bit tricky. I'm gonna need a pulverizer for that. Can I even make a pulverizer right now? Do I even have any way to make power right now? We might need to go like a Stirling generator or something. That might be where we have to go. But my main problem right now is we need a lot, and I mean a lot of blood. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna YOLO it, sit here and like click my head out until we get enough. I think that's just the plan. We're just gonna have to like brute force it, I guess, which is not really ideal. So there's a lot of moving parts to this. I went ahead and made more diamonds. Also, I believe we can take these diamonds, if I remember seeing correctly, we can go ahead and throw them into our little crushing machine over here, and it should make the diamonds that we need. The diamond grit. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Now we've gotten 2 of the items. We've gotten the dynamic slate and we've gotten the diamond grit. Alrighty, so we have 5 of the 6 items. We are just missing 1 more item, which is a slime steel ingot, which is going to require some interesting things. So we're gonna need the, what is it called here? I believe it is the, oh god, where is it? Did I click the right one? Yes, I did. Yeah, we're gonna mix it here with deep slate or seared bricks in this guy. So we get 2 for 1 recipe. I need 7 of each of these items: iron, slime skyballs, and seared bricks. Those are all easy. Slime skyballs is gonna come from, you guessed it, the blasting of the sky crystal, and the sky crystal comes from smithing amethyst with slime balls. So amethyst and slime balls, we should have amethyst already. Slime balls come from, you guessed it, dough and lime dye. Now I think I do have some lime dye. I do. I am gonna need 6 more of these, and I think I need like bone meal as well, right? Yeah, we got plenty enough bone meal. That is not how you make lime dye. How does one make lime dye? Ah, I see. I'm silly. I forgot to convert it into the dyes that we need. Take that and then combine them together like so, and then you get 2 per, so that's not bad at all. And then to get this dough, which we might already have, which we don't, but dough can be made with wheat flour, and then wheat flour is made by grounding wheat in one of these guys, one of these mill thingies. Now that we have the slime balls, we're gonna need the smithing table, so that should be relatively easy. Of course, this doesn't want to put the oak planks in there because it doesn't want to. There we go, smithing table. And then we're gonna need some amethyst, and boom, we have that. So let's go ahead and do this, I guess, over here. That plus that should give us that, and then that's gonna go here to get smelted. And then once that is smelted, that should make the sky slime. Okay, so I should be able to take this now and hopefully throw it into here with this and this. Now we are gonna have to heat it up, honestly. So let's go ahead and get some coal here, and underneath all of this should be a blaze burner. So let's go ahead and give that guy a couple pieces of coal, and then that should in theory make our slime things that we need, the slime steel. Beautiful. Now here's the other problem that we're gonna have. We have a bigger problem. That is going to be the fact that we need the master blood orb, and we also need to fill it, which needs another one of these weak blood shards. Honestly, thankfully we have extra saturated fruit, which I believe are in this chest. Yeah, extra saturated fruit, and we're gonna put it in here, and hopefully that's gonna make the blood crystal that we need. But we need 40,000 LP. That is so much LP. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna make massive blood orb, and I'm also gonna fill it as well. Alrighty, so the final step for gypsum is going to be the fact that we gotta put the master orb in here, and then we put the dynamic, the diamond grit, the slime steel, imperial, and prismarine crystals, bioluminescence goo, and that's gonna hopefully make all of the things that we need, right? So I think it's like 5,000 LP per craft, right? Yes, it's 5,000 LP per craft. So this is gonna be very nice. But we got our very first gypsum ingot, which means we can make the Essentia Inoculus. Unfortunately, guys, we're out of time for today's episode of Project Sacrifice. With that being said, if you guys did enjoy today's episode, please do me a huge favor, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, ding dong that notification bell, become a part of the Council of Elder. As always, guys, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna leave you till next time. Bye bye.